7:30 Pacific time. Welcome to ALPOUGH. This is number 69 today, and it's really good to be with you on my late night show. I come on at 2:30 in the afternoon Pacific, and I always want to do another show in the evening. Sometimes it's at 6:30 or at 7:30. I really like to get it at 6:30, but it's hard to get everything done in between the time. So, but that's where I'm always headed for. I hope your evening is going good. I hope your day is. If you are in here for the first time, I want to welcome you. You may not be watching it now, but you might be watching it later. And I'm assuming you could be watching it later, whichever day that is. So thank you for being in. I did a show this morning on the being a perfect gentleman. I thought it was pretty good. I left the if you haven't seen that, look at down on my description on my YouTube page, and you can click on that. Or if you're on my Facebook page or my show page, you can find it on there also. Please give it a like if you could watch it all the way through. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's ALPOUGH Show. Real easy to find. And if you just subscribe to that, I had a new mark. One of my videos, which I have linked also down there for, is One Step at a Time. And it's heading into the 2000th view here. I think we're over 1,500. And so if you haven't seen that, please take a look at that. That's one of my best videos, One Step at a Time, how to slow your brain down immediately in these strange times that we're in. And so one of the things that's come up here, since we've had the unfortunate of having this long pandemic, hope we can get over this and keep going, and we don't have any things goes backwards on us here. We want to keep a positive thought here, and that we'll be able to make it out. And as we do, we've crossed the threshold of this canyon of non-communication here over the last year and a half. And this has changed a lot of people. Well, all of us in some way, okay? Some way. Everything that's about you was challenged. Everything about me also. Relationships, your partners, your family. It was a real hard time. And so as we're coming out of this, I think it really takes a new review here. And I think we have to do it a lot, by the way, because things are changing so rapidly. The red pills and the blue pills, it's just hard to understand everything except one thing, that we're in the middle of this. So what we want to do, though, is to be an adult of our mind. We want to be an adult of our thought, because we are what we think about. And what we dwell on is what is produced. So living in anxiety produces an anxiety outgoing. And so today I reviewed about how to be a perfect gentleman. And I think this is another one in that goes with it. In that show, I talked about how to be a perfect gentleman, and also what women look for in gentlemanly qualities. Okay. Perfect gentleman qualities. So as I'm going through, all my subjects, and all of a sudden this came up. So it's like, okay, so I've done what women want. I've done a number of shows on women. Okay. What women want in a man. Okay. Which the reason why I go over that is because, okay, I can, I'm trying to explain it from a man's standpoint to another man, maybe to just give more wisdom to it, because that's what I'm about, is sharing wisdom. Okay, so today the subject is what men want from a woman. And now we know that it's hard to figure out everything about what what women want, what we want from women. Okay, but what we want to do is we have to also state what it is that we're looking for. So I went through, I looked at the young people, all the way up, and then I realized, my experience is vast because I'm older, and so I think, and I was, while I had a lot of relationships, I never got married, and there is a difference between getting married and living with someone. Maybe for a period of time, that's important. But eventually somebody's there's going to be, because of, I guess, the tradition, families, things like that. So, but again, everyone has their own relationship on how they want, the kind of relationship that they want. All right. I'm not, I'm mainly talking about a man and a woman. Okay. So it does apply in, the whole realm. At the same time, I'm going by my experience, which is what I want to stick with, on what, I have, what I wanted out of a woman, and then also being very successful and finding that woman. And I think that these are the things that I want to get into tonight. So stick with me all the way to the end. Okay. All the way to the end. It's very important now. All right. So now what I'm going to say here is my opinion, because you got to take the best and leave the rest. But now this is talking about what is real. Okay. So I'm going to be real with you. We're talking about this. Let's establish the parameters of this is about getting married. All right. This isn't about fringe benefits. Okay. This isn't about an affair. This is about two people wanting to come together and actually form a nucleus together for the rest of their lives. Okay. Now, I think eventually people move into that, and you remember these words that everything I'm saying to you. Okay. Because it's drop darn honest. And, I'm here to spread the wisdom. Okay. So the first thing is, what a man wants is for you to get over yourself. Okay. Because I have to get over myself. All right. This is this is the most important thing. Okay. When you're starting, because if you're not ready to get over yourself, how can you expect that other person to get over themselves? Okay. Now I'm going to explain that here. Okay. What this actually means to get about getting over yourself. All right. All right. So, you have to leave the ego at the door. All right. This is about compromise. Now, in discussing before getting together, you want to know something about this person, something about them, some experience, some things that you've done together where you have put yourself in a place to get to know each other. My suggestion always is talk, and talk. Over communicate. Do not under communicate. Over. I prefer over communication than under communication. All right. Also, you have to leave the past at the door. You know, everybody's been in old relationships. And when you come together to be with somebody in a ceremony, you have to have the maturity to know to let the past go. And that in particular with past hurts. Now, again, CPTSD is something that we've discussed numerous times and will continue on, of trauma that happens to us when we're kids. It's no different. But these are just just touching the surface of what you're supposed to be if you really want to get down with it. When you really want to be with someone, you have to leave the past at the door, and it takes practice. Practice makes perfect. So you want to be willing. A man wants a woman that's, is willing to put in the work with him. Okay? Because once a man wants to settle down, he's looking for that one. All right? So that one, you've had your experience, and it's time that you want to leave the past and start new, because it is. All right? Next is slow to anger. There's just got to be patience no matter what. There may be 10,000 things that you like about the person, but it's one thing that that gets on your nerves. All right. So patience. All right. Everybody has that threshold. Now you can find out. Now we're going to go on here. All right. So I want to jump to, but patience and slow to anger. If you can do that, then you'll get your emotions out and you'll be able to talk when you're upset as opposed to arguing. I'll get in that as we go. Now, also, live by our rules that we establish. Okay, when you're with someone, a man we're going to establish our own rules. Okay? At the end of the day, it's us establishing our own rules. And you can take suggestions all along, but you're agreeing on your rules. Okay, the rules that you set up. All right. Now I'm going to give you an example of a rule that is established here. All right. And that is stick to the subject when an argument occurs. When sticking to the subject stays in the moment, guys. If you're fast to anger and you do not stick with the argument that he didn't put the trash out, or this wasn't the way it was, instead of bringing up 15 things from behind, which means, again, if something starts to nag you have to talk that out first. All right. So what is next? Argument rules. Oh no, we're never going to get in an argument. We're going to love each other forever. No. My wife and I didn't really even have an argument for a year. Okay. And I think because of setting the rules up, but when we did have one, the rules applied. What are the rules? Leave the past at the door. Get over yourself, the ego at the door, and be slow to anger. Okay? If you married this person, you married them, it's a lock, stock, and barrel type thing, especially if that's what how it was. I planned on only getting married once if I was going to get married, but I only was planning on getting married once. And again, in my family, that tradition is that. Now, that's a generation before me, not my generation now. Okay. So live by your rules that you establish when you do that. That way, when you go out or when family or anything else, certain things happen, you already know how you're going to establish. Okay. So, we know the brother-in-law is coming over. and he's gonna get drunk. Okay. Well, we know we're just gonna make him comfortable and make sure everything's okay. Okay. That's just a rule example. I'm not making anybody else's like that. I'm just saying that you establish patterns with your own family. Sometimes you know, both of you have to stand up to your family, you know, but you do it together because at the end of the day, you're the ones who have to work it out, which really brings me to my next one here, which is the opposite kind of thing is playfulness. You know, when you get it's to me it's perfect with the argument because when the way you get over an argument is to be able to get back to the laughing, to the playfulness. Okay. And so just whether or not it's a hug or that joke, or something that just kind of lets you get back, and if you're being in a playful state as much as you can is really healthy to me because everything is hard now. I mean, everything. And it's how we think about it. It's being the adult of our mind and the adult of our thoughts so that we can understand, well, okay, we're just going to be playful through this hard time. We already know that it's hard, but if we can have some playfulness in it, it'd be really good. All right. A sense of humor that kind of leads into that, making sure, you have a sense of humor. For example, when my wife and I got married, I think I remember the judge saying that she had to laugh at all my jokes. And, she hasn't been doing it. And I remind her of it, and she says she doesn't remember. Wish somebody who was at the ceremony could remember that. Yeah, no, it didn't work out. But I'm relentless to make my wife laugh, right, honey? All right. Now here's another very important thing. All right, and it's going to have to be explained. So just be with me here. Nurture. A man wants a woman who can nurture without turning into his mother. Okay. Everyone likes to be mother, but it's by their mother. So even me when I go see my mom, like I did today, we played Pokino. By the way, we had fun. My mom is, really, it's just so nice to have her for a little while, she comes back. It's good. It's in and out. It's great. You do the best you can, So that's my mother. I want to be nurtured by her, which is just being next to her. So, nurturing is hugging, when you give that, she knows when you had a tough day and, she's got the, coffee ready or your beer or whatever it is, that's something that lets you, which comes down to a belief in us. So we want you to believe in us. That's what we want. We want you to believe in us because when we're at this place, we want to give it all to, and that shows it's appreciation. Belief and appreciation is kind of the same thing, sort of, but really a belief in us. Okay. Now I'm going to be ongoing on this. Guys, you have any suggestions? Ladies, it's just, however, I'm open to suggestions and everything. Okay. All right. So next is we want you to have independence, we want to have some independence too. But we have to take balance, balancing that. So, like I got a buddy of mine who plays a lot of golf. And I always wonder how in the world he gets to play all the golf he wants. But I know now, okay, because he knows how to balance it. Believe me, he's a genius. Okay, not a lot of people can do it. So independence takes time. Now, I'd like my mate to be independent. Okay, some independence, and I like to be independent, but the independence is still within the relationship. So that's something that has to take the time, the over communication of really putting that together. All right. Okay. So also with this equality that we're supposed to, we're supposed to be equal, but again, when you're establishing your own rules, and the good thing about it is establishing each other's gifts, establishing what you're good at. And so for the best person for the task at hand, whatever that is, and feel good about it. If your wife has a degree in accounting, there might be somebody like that could probably handle the bills better than someone who doesn't have an accounting degree. Okay. Best person for the task at hand. Now, last but not least, but it is last. Okay. Attractiveness, not sexiness. The sexiness comes and goes, and with age, it turns into different. It's an attractiveness. So to be attracted to somebody, and of course you want to be with them. You want to be with them physically, and but people rush into it, and it takes away something later. And the whole thing is holding hands, hugging, really to start, to just feel that. The rush to sexiness is always there. It's something that wants to burst out first. But it's attractiveness, which is a vibration. The energy of your heart together, right? Where am I? Right? Yeah, right there. See? Does the heart have that connection? More than the private parts. That is really what I have for tonight. I really want to, say that this is a deep subject. And, Amanda, men want a woman who is bisexual and has lots of hot friends. Am I right? Yes. And that's not a woman. Well, it could be, right? I mean, this is what the whole thing was. And that's a point that is cool, because what she's saying, and she's a younger person, like 30 years of me or more, I don't know. And when you're in age bracket, which is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, it's like this is not for people who want a woman who's bisexual and has a lot of hot friends, right? That's not what this is for that person. And this is what I'm talking about, the kind of the twofold. Now, listen, I could talk about that also, but again, that's for the young people to do. I'm the one who you're going to meet on the way up. You see what I mean? And that was good. That was really good. So I really appreciate your comments here. Totally. I can't wait to get a man. Wait till you see the video I'm getting ready to hit on her. She's incredibly talented, and I can't wait to have her on my show. She's so busy, but I sure appreciate you listening to my show, sis. And so I want to thank everybody here. Really, it's been something I've been wanting to kind of just really give the insight on how to be a complete man. And see, and then allow the communication to the person that you really want to be with, because part of that is really being vulnerable. And compromise is the number one. You're not going to get your way every time. But it's also, but it's also very important that you find that connection with each other. So I'm going to let you all go for now. I got one more comment. I think a mature man wants a loving woman who makes him feel appreciated. And my wife says, that's true, because that's me. ALPOUGH. That's me, ALPOUGH. First name comment. See you tomorrow. Great show, guys.